Virgo. This is Revan, otherwise known as Cosmic Alignment, and this is an evolutionary astrological forecast, specifically for you, Virgo, for the first week of January 2019. So we're basically beginning this reading for the 1st of January, Tuesday, until Sunday, the 6th of January. So let's get into this. So Virgo, two big major shifts occur this 2019 at the beginning of. Mars moves into Aries and the Sun conjuncts Saturn in the 11th degree of Capricorn, while there's basically a stellium in the archetype of Capricorn. What does this all reflect? Okay, so Virgo, there's no planetary bodies moving through your archetype specifically, but this Saturn / Capricorn energy specifically, I feel is very strongly felt and supporting your own evolution and self-development. So let me explain. Like I had mentioned, and every other astrologer will mention, this 2019 begins with the Sun, the heartbeat of the solar system, the blood, the life, creation, creating this conjunction with Saturn. What is Saturn? If we look at the symbol of Saturn, it is a cross above a crescent. What does it symbolize? The four elements, the laws of creation, is what the cross represents. Remember, ancient wisdom looked at the cross as symbolic for the four directions, for the four elements through which all of creation manifests through. In other words, it is the natural laws of creation, right? Of basically, it's the structure and the laws and the principles of this reality. And with the moon, or the ego, the personality, these incarnations that, like the moon, have no light of their own, but are containers and vessels for spirit that reflect the life of spirit, is below the cross of matter. So, summing it up, Saturn represents our responsibilities in this lifetime, our life lessons in this lifetime, our duty, our dharma, what we have to answer to personally, again, in this lifetime. This is why it is not the sun underneath the cross, it is the moon, the personality, the incarnation. So this archetype conjunct the heartbeat of the solar system reflects this very grounding, very elderly, wise energy. And this is why I said I feel like it supports you, Virgo, because you're an earth element sign. You're very grounded and practical, very down to earth, and there's a strong common sense about you. And you know, your mind is just down to earth, practical, is very real, and Saturn is like the most real and the most bottom line and the most just cutthroat, straight to the point types of energies. Basically, the influence of Saturn cuts away what's non-essential. So this energy that we're starting the year with is basically, we can say, the celestial elder within, saying, while Mars enters Aries, and you know, on the 1st, Mars enters Aries, and this is basically a beginning of a new cycle for all of us. Mars is our personal will and the masculine energy, and beginning in Aries begins a new journey. So while that influence is creating this excitability, this sense of like, I want to begin anew, I want to become somebody else, I want to fulfill new different things, discover things, learn new abilities, just keep growing and keep evolving. This is Mars Aries, and wanting to go in every direction. Remember, Aries is very impulsive, necessarily so, because it wants to and needs to discover something that it does not know about itself. So it needs to follow an intuition. It doesn't know what it doesn't know. It will discover it in the process. We all know, all creatives, everybody is a creative, knows that in your process you unfold and find out things about yourself that at the beginning you had no idea. And how could you have planned to have known that at the end? So this is the energy of Mars. Very excitable. And for you, Virgo, I don't know. This might be showing up more as an anxiety, perhaps, a nervousness, a restlessness to get a lot done, to create a lot of order in your own universe, to tidy it all up. And since you're such a perfectionist, it might lead to a lot of self-criticism and fault-finding. And I just want to say, like, I want to invite you to relax a little bit about that, because Saturn will make us all a little bit harsh on ourselves, a little bit hard on ourselves. This is the celestial schoolmaster. This is the one that's like gonna crack the whip and be like, hey, stop messing around. You know what you need to do. Okay, I don't need to say it. You already know. Okay, that's that influence. And Virgo, you specifically, you're practicing and you're learning discernment, and you're learning and desiring and evolving into this pure state of, of self-improvement and self-analysis, and of letting go of these self-sabotaging, destructive habits and patterns. This is your whole archetype, desiring quote-unquote perfection, but really just perfection in the terms of just letting go of that which is unnecessary, in a sense becoming minimal to what is essential. So this energy of Saturn is very much right up your alley, but it's just something I wanted to mention, to become mindful, to not become too hard on yourself. You're gonna like we all will, but you very specifically will feel that sense of responsibility and like, okay, shit, it's 2019. I gotta get this shit going. And Saturn will remind us that there's a foundation to build, that we can't just go ahead and spend this energy of Mars and Aries all over the fucking place like it's gonna be channeled. And you, Virgo, know that there's a process. There's, you can make things right once, or you make them twice because of all the mistakes you make the first time, because you're trying to cut corners and trying to rush it. And this is what Mars and Aries might make us all collectively feel like we need to like get things done yesterday. And Saturn reminds us to be patient. And so really this first week is about balancing those two energies, that fire and that earth, that cautiousness and the strategic ambition to fulfill on the long-term plans, and also this fire to just go and do it and get in action. So while those two energies are being felt for this week, and that's how it's contextualized for you, Virgo, I also wanted to speak on Mercury's shift into Capricorn come Friday, January 4th. So we've been in Sagittarius season. Mercury correlates to the intellect, the logic, the mind, the data processing faculty within the consciousness. It's how we think. And it's very much important to your archetype, to your energy, Virgo, because you're very analytical. You're very much in your head. You're very, you rely on your thinking a lot, very left brain oriented. And so this archetype of Mercury, wherever it's going to be moving, either, whether it's moving into a new sign or aspecting some other planet, will affect your thinking as well. And we've gone through the Sagittarius season, which has been about expanding our mental awareness, and specifically for you, Virgo, you and Gemini, which both of you are ruled by Mercury, so very much thinking oriented, very mental. All of us, but specifically you two, have been learning this evolutionary lesson through Sagittarius season of developing your sixth sense / your intuition, and to learn to rely on that as well, and not just solely on your thinking and your own mind. You know, in the sense of trying to like reason it and trying to like really figure it all out inside your own head. Like sometimes the intuition just knows without you knowing how it knows. And so after coming through that, and there being this conjunction of the Mercury, the logic, and Jupiter, the higher mind, beginning the Sagittarius season, there's been this definite development of that sixth sense. And you feel it, Virgo. You notice nuances and the subtleties, especially in terms of your thinking. So you've noticed how the veil has thinned and are becoming a lot more intuitive. Yeah, you're very analytical by birth and naturally, but you're also cultivating this intuition. And come this Friday, January 4th, this shift into Capricorn really just signals the collective mind, the intellect, all of us just really starting to think about what we want to ground and bring to fruition and to manifest here on this physical material realm, on this social cultural structure and networks that we all create. For a lot of us, it might mean social media. Like, who do you want to be? Like, really, that's the new paradigm, the new realm of existence, social media platform. So Saturn has to do with our social persona, our calling out in culture and society. It's our collective function, so to speak. So it represents what we do out in the world. This is why it's our career, it's our profession. It's how we produce income or our livelihood, which provides us this outward security. This is all Capricorn energy. Specifically, Mercury in Capricorn energy, our thinking revolving around our collective function and what we want to be and who we want to be in front of others, our career, our profession, what we do. So this is this Capricorn stellium energy, the Sun conjunct Saturn energy. We're beginning to build a new foundation, a new social persona. And for you, Virgo, why did I say at the beginning that this is just like right up your alley? Like we all know, you desire this purity and this perfection. There's, or this order, this state of, we could almost say godlyhood, of clarity, of illumination, of things just being right where they need to be. So to speak, perfect. And Saturn brings us back to the essential, brings us back to what's important and to the bottom line and to what actually matters. And with all this Capricorn energy going on, stellium in that whole Capricorn / Saturn energy is bringing us all back to the common sense of like what we should be doing, what foundation we should be building, how to build that foundation. This is up your alley because you're an earth element sign. And this is a perfect time to utilize that energy. Of course, all Virgos are different. So not every single Virgo listening to this is exactly the same. Some of you might have some fire energy in your chart, or water, or air. Let's say, well, we all have an mixture, but what I mean is, while Earth alone is grounded and centered and down to earth, because of the influence of the other elements, we can not be as centered or grounded. What I mean is this: if you have like maybe like let's say a predominance of air energy, you know, like most of the planets are in air signs, let's say, and you're still Virgo by sun or rising or the moon, you know, you'll be very much in your head, very much an intellectual and cerebral, and be full of ideas, and want to just love to learn and expand in every single way because of that air influence, making you an intellectual. This will be influencing that down-to-earth, common sense, analytical desire for perfection of Virgo. So that's what I mean. So this energy of Saturn and Capricorn, the influence, the vibe of it is just very, very down-to-earth, very grounding. And this is your element to ground, to center, to bring back down here to this material realm, to manifest it through that, to make it tangible. And this is your energy. And Saturn will remind you, as it will with everybody, of our responsibilities and our duties and our dharma. And we begin to take new actions to build that new foundation. And this is something that's, again, right up your alley, Virgo. So for you specifically, since you love lists and you love to journal and you love to write, I would suggest taking inventory of all those ideas that you have, of all the things that you want to do, of all the ambitions that you have. You know, as a Virgo, you'll have a lot of ideas. Following through on every single one of them, again, depends on other configurations in the chart, but Virgo by itself is more of a behind the scenes energy. And, you know, if you're somebody that wants to get out and put something out on social media, out on the world, you know, and really manifest that project, that creative project, this is time, this is the energy, the cosmic wave and frequency is just right for us to be able to utilize this very patient, reflective, meditative, enduring, persevering, grounding and centering energy and influence of Saturn / Capricorn to create our plans that are in alignment with our long-term ambitions. And then we can channel that Mars / Aries energy wisely and use it to build a solid foundation and a sustainable foundation. So this is the energy for this week. I hope you enjoyed this, Virgo. I will be publishing these every week. Ideally Sunday mornings, not like today. I had to do it like late, early. Well, late Sunday / early Monday, just because I had planned to do it Monday, but turns out I needed to shoot for Sunday, but it was just, I went a little bit over, but these will be published Sunday. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and like this video. If you enjoyed this video and would like to keep getting these weekly, subscribe. I will be publishing these every Sunday. And I will also be publishing one for every sign. So if you have a friend that's like a Cancer, I'll link it below and you can share it with them. You never know, you know, if this helped you in any type of way, you might want to pay it forward. I never know how and if anybody will resonate with what I put out, but a lot of times I'm surprised and I'm like, whoa. Somebody's just telling me they were just journaling about that, and then it's just to hear this or to see that, it's just like a reconfirmation to them and gives them this peace of mind, or it gives them an insight, and it's totally subjective to them. So you never know what sharing something like this might mean to somebody else, but I invite you to. You don't have to. Anyways, like, subscribe. Have a great fucking 2019, Virgo. Goodbye.